Hello, everyone. Eric Watson here. Welcome to Chat for the Lost Plane. I have been drinking. Our weekly live stream post-session discussion where we talk about what just happened during D&D. This is the chat for session 5. So if you haven't watched that session yet, please go do that now because there will be spoilers. DM Chris is here.
Hello.
And player Raymond is here.
Hello.
And we're gonna talk about session 5.
Yeah.
What was with the fucking sand? First of all, because I have questions.
That one didn't work quite as well as I was hoping it would. I
didn't
don't
feel
know
like
if
it.
Yeah, it was one of those things where, like, at some point I was like, I kind of gotta explain a little bit more. And I guess I'm not sure how I could have set it up better. I think in my head, you guys had interacted with the trees earlier on, like that first tree you encountered. I was trying to draw your attention to it and whatever, but you guys just sort of were like, we don't care, moving on.
Kether was inspecting it, but then was like,
she was, but then when I asked her if she touched the sand, she said no. So I was like, all right, fine. The idea is that the trees are sentient. They are fully sentient trees that communicate through the ground around them. But they're children, kind of.
Okay.
They like to play, they like music, they like to play games, whatever. And obviously the clue was exactly what Tim and Gillian figured out eventually. It was they just play a game with them and lose. That's all it took.
Okay.
So that's all there was to it.
I think we figured it out in the end, but
you did figure it out. I think there was a long portion of time where you guys thought it was a trap. You were like, I don't want to step on the sand.
Or it was like some kind of sound-based thing. Specifically, it was like reacting to the sound.
Yeah. So that might have been a bit of a red herring there, the sound thing, a little bit more than I was anticipating it to be.
Yeah, we couldn't tell what to do with the music and like.
Well, we had no clues. We just walked. Yeah, there's just sand in a tree. Like we had nothing to go on.
Yeah. And that's in my head what I was imagining was that there'd be some sort of interaction where earlier on somebody would walk through the sand. And before you guys saw the sand with the bellboy, you guys would walk through it or something, and it would react to you, try to communicate to you there. But because the first time you saw it was with the bellboy and with the sound thing happening, that's where all your attention landed. It was like, oh, this is supposed to be like sound, music based or something, and it wasn't. They just liked the music. That's all it was.
Okay, yeah, that was throwing me for a while.
Yeah.
I guess,
eventually, everybody got on board. And it cut on. I do like that. I don't know if Reese didn't figure it out or if Reese did figure it out and just wanted to just win anyway. But he was like, I'm going to beat the tree. And I was trying to figure out what Tim was doing in the beginning. He was like, I make an O with my hand. An O with I don't.
I think he was halfway fucking with you, and
I think he kind of was.
And just halfway having fun with it.
It was kind of working because I was having a real tough time, like picturing, like what how do I respond to this? I don't know. I don't know what's happening right now.
It's just DM hard mode now.
Yeah, but then when he said like I draw the tic-tac-toe, I was like, fine. It could have been any game. It could have been, you could have asked him a question. You could have written words. If you had written words into the sand, they would have responded.
Interesting. I didn't get that it was a sentient thing, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the part.
And try to communicate.
Didn't quite, yeah.
Yeah. Jason, go ahead with your question. Yeah, the sand thing was... we did figure it out eventually, but it was definitely confusing at first just because we didn't know.
Because of where you guys first encountered the moving sand.
It just kind of came out of nowhere,
It was kind of too much of a red herring to have them reacting to the bellboy being your first interaction with it.
Yeah. And it's funny because I've seen it from the DM standpoint too, where you give a players a seemingly innocuous detail, and they just focus on that being the thing. And in this case, it was like, it reacts to sounds. So we'll have to do like music stuff, and that went nowhere. And we're all like, we're all so confused about this.
Yeah. I think at some point I kind of, it's hard. It's also hard for the DM to not tell the players what they think about a situation.
Yeah.
But at some points you're just kind of like, and you might think that you're just entertaining the sand at this point. You like,
yeah.
you're putting thoughts in the players' heads a little bit, but you kind of need to do that to move things along.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's all it was. You guys were just entertaining the trees. You were playing music for them.
Mm-hmm.
Tim was playing with them. They were enjoying that.
See, I thought like these beings would make their figure shown and they would like talk to us or something.
Oh yeah, no, it was just the trees communicating with the vibrations of the around the roots.
I was waiting for a message of some sort.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which I suppose what I could have done is just straight up go to words, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to do that initially, but maybe that's what I needed to do to make it more explicit. To have them actually like write words in the sand.
Or have the sand just kind of initiate a game, I think. Of whatever kind of game
themselves.
you want to do. Yeah, like
Right.
I picked up on the tic-tac-toe thing pretty quick. I don't know if that was your concept, but I was like, oh, let's...
It didn't have to be
You said
tic-tac-toe.
game
I was
and... Yeah.
honestly, when I wrote that, I was like, okay, they'll play a game with the trees. At that point, I was like, honestly, if whatever solution they come up with, any
interesting.
kind of game.
Yeah.
What I was trying to do with
The-
the X, and Tim just didn't do it. Which I mean, I don't know. Once again, like, how do you can't put thoughts into people's heads? He was playing tag. Like the X was like getting close to him and darting away, getting close to him. So Tim had tried. If Tim had tried to grab the X would have like run away from him.
I didn't get that at all.
Yeah.
I was thinking this is a
that's-
good solution for him making the circles with the X, and I thought you would immediately put an X like across from him, as if he was the physical circle, then make the tic-tac-toe board that way.
Once he drew the board, I was fully understanding.
Yeah, then he was like, "Fuck it, let's just draw the board in the sand."
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'll respond to this. Like, okay, now we know
Yeah.
what's going on.
So yeah, that one may have been a little too in my own
I'm
head.
glad we didn't both have to do it though. We just all could go down one of the doors, so it
Yeah,
looks like it was
exactly.
all just symmetrical. Like you could go down either side and end up in that same area.
Yep.
Okay.
That whole floor was not necessarily any combat at all. You guys fought in that main room a little bit last
Yeah.
session, but that one was mostly pretty short. It was just the big battle going on, and then that one puzzle in the south.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about the battle. Jason says, "What would have happened if the lions had not been taken out of the battle?" Well, I guess we're all curious about the lions. You probably still want to, you can keep them in your pocket if you want to, but
As you guys like banish them, it's fine. They're not coming back. I think I said they can't come back for 24 hours.
well, I mean,
But
you
then
might
again,
have
you didn't-
more lions somewhere. I don't know.
Oh, right. Well, I mean, in terms of what they do, that's not terribly important to me. What I'm going to tell you,
Yeah.
but
Well, here's a question:
I mean-
would that demon have attacked us, or was that the
The
ad
demon-
that you made?
the demon was just a back pocket thing.
Okay.
He was always there. He was always there in case you guys were doing too well,
Yeah.
or if I just felt like the combat wasn't that interesting, or like the back line just wasn't getting touched, or if I just had him already on the board just in case I wanted to add a new element.
Yeah.
I also kind of wanted to communicate at some point that the battle downstairs that you guys went through is over.
Yeah.
Like it's wrapped up.
Yeah.
So that you guys know that, like, okay, the fighting in this tower is pretty much concluded at this point.
One demon survived all that.
That's right, exactly. The idea of being one demon survived that whole big thing. So yes, you guys fucking charming, hypnotic patterning, and then banishing the lions
Yeah.
effectively made the demon a for sure thing. It's
Like the
well,
next turn.
Yeah, like all right, well, there's no reason not to use them now.
That sucks. I feel for you too. Whenever the players just and I never had to deal with high level players that could just do that, like just literally disappear multiple big enemies
Yeah, that's
in one
fascinating.
round. I was like, holy crap.
And the Felidars didn't have terrible charisma things. It was +3 or +4,
Yeah.
but it was a 17 saving throw, so they still had to do above
They
average.
had probably a 40% chance of success or something, and
yeah,
both failed. That was bad.
yep. But the main reason they're there, they're tanky. They're kind of lion. They got lion type stuff. You know, they're tanky. They got
Where are they from?
you know, those are not made up. Those are from. I got it somewhere here. Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica.
Ah,
I had to reach out to all the
the
books to get enough
multiverse.
Celestials
Yeah.
because there's not a lot of Celestials in the books. Like there is
Yeah.
a finite number of them.
Did you earlier that the Deva was going to work with the Felidars?
Yes, so that's the more important part of what they were doing. If you guys noticed, when the Deva threw his axe, it was doing more damage when it passed through people to get to its target. And that was the primary thing of what the Felidars were going to be for, is one more body for the axe to pass through on its way to wherever he was throwing it.
Oh wow!
But they just disappeared. So
Is that a custom magic item that you made?
yeah. Well, it's half of a. There's an image for it, and there was a description I didn't like for it.
Okay.
From a website called Griffin Saddlebag, which is an amazing site, by the way. If anybody's interested in custom or unique magic items, awesome site. They got a Patreon, I think.
What's it called?
Griffin Saddlebag.
Okay.
Yeah, I got them off their Patreon.
Okay. I haven't heard of them.
But they just got they just got a ton of magic items, and they've all got, which you guys haven't seen it yet, but they've all got art that pretty much matches the art style of D&D's magic items.
Oh, that's cool.
So I was like, all right, I'm just taking all these and I'm going to use them however
nice.
I can use them.
I really like that idea of getting a magic item via the enemy using it on you and seeing it in action.
Yep.
And you've used this before, I know, in Storm Kings, and that's really neat because you can see it in action, like, oh, that's a cool item, and then that enemy like drops that like weapon or item or whatever, and you get to then have it. That's always really neat.
Yeah. I just like that idea.
Yeah.
Of like, it's very Devil May Cry, where like you fight the fire boss, and if you kill the fire boss, the
Mega
fire
Man.
boss turns into a fire sword. You know, it's like
Yeah.
you literally just get whatever.
That was
you're fighting.
that Remnant game we played that had the
Yes,
guns.
it was very similar. Yeah, that had its own thing. Where it's like the boss turns into a weapon that it kind of has his powers.
Yeah.
I just like that idea.
That is neat.
Because I always feel like it's kind of rewarding you for overcoming a specific thing. It's like, oh, you guys overcame this specific weapon in this scenario, so you get to use it now.
Writers had a question about the map. I think we might have answered this before. I'm not sure, but this map, at least this map in particular.
All of them are the same guy.
This is from is this from DM's Guild or Roll20?
Roll20.
Okay.
I can tell you what even marketplace item this is.
But these are multiple maps. Is this just all
They
part
are,
of a
but they're
bundle
all
or
from
something?
the same pack.
Okay.
Yeah. The pack in Roll20 is called Hassle-Free Castles, Green Tower.
Okay.
And there's like 10 of these 25 by 25 maps.
They use like the same
I only use like 5 of them.
They use the same like pieces and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Same pieces, same tile sets, and
yeah.
color scheme. So I just looked through like the 10 or 12 of these that I liked, and was like, okay, I can use this one for this floor. I can use this one for that floor.
Yeah.
I think the guy's name is Gabriel Pickard on Roll20 Marketplace.
I like his maps.
I use all sorts of his stuff.
Yeah.
But this whole dungeon that you guys have been in has been that one map pack called the Green Tower.
It's pretty nifty looking.
Somebody,
Very green.
read the chat. Somebody looked up Golden Shadow.
Don't Google that.
Sorry.
Oh no. Don't Google that.
And yes, they were heading down. It's been down.
Yeah, I think we're
moving down the stairs.
still heading down. Yeah.
Yeah.
This was the big boss fight, though. I remember you saying with the.
Yes, this is the.
So is this the reaching the end ish of the tower?
End-ish. Yep. That's it. At some point, I realized that's another reason I chose to use the devil, because after you guys banished the lions, and you guys started laying into the Deva. I mean, somebody in the chat actually during the stream commented like that's why all bosses should have legendary actions.
Yeah.
Because just a single boss, action combat.
Oh, because you're down to one. Yeah.
And yes, once I realized that, I was like, okay, the Deva doesn't have any minions anymore. The Felidars are banished.
Mm-hmm.
I was also looking at the time. It was like 9:20, and I was like, if they kill the Deva now, there's not enough time for them to really like finish this place off. But there's also too much time to call it. So I need this fight to go on just like 10 minutes longer than it's going to. So that's another reason why I was like, okay, Horn Devil's coming in. He needs to make this fight last a little longer.
Honestly, I thought it felt pretty well balance-wise. I think you timed it really well, and the fact that it was able to cut into Kethra back there, and I took some, like, you damaged the back line, which is always exciting because we're all panicking. And honestly, a lot of people were hurting. Like, a lot of us have taken some serious damage. Scarlet and Tim, I feel like they're always at like 25% hit points.
Yeah. Those two, I swear, Tim's spell...
Yeah.
Got a lot of mileage.
Well, I mentioned this at the beginning, but he is the only high-level spellcaster we have. Because Gillian's multi-class, I'm multi-class, nobody else is... I mean, Paladin's only a half spellcaster anyway, so he's only pure spell. So he's the only one with access to, like, levels, 6 and 7 spells. And yeah, we're seeing them for the first time. It's like, holy shit, he can do some serious stuff with that.
Yep. I mean, the Banishment did great things.
Yeah,
the Divine Word. But then also that Warding Bond that he put on Scarlet, that probably saved her life.
No concentration,
like
just
twice.
Lasts an hour.
Yeah. Because that... I looked, actually, and she would have still been alive, but when the Deva first hit her, the very first time, he got that... I don't think he got a crit, but he did 54 damage.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was a crit. I don't remember. But anyway, she had 60 life, so she would have been down to 6 at that point.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, there was plenty of damage going around. Everybody was pretty hurt by the end. Kethra didn't have too much damage, but I had to get her in the combat somehow.
That was good. I mean, I took like 30 damage, and I'm like, holy shit, that was a good chunk of my health.
Yeah. Let's see what Jason asks. Is there another couple more bellboys? They can hear one more. They can indeed hear one more bellboy in the distance.
Oh, right. You ended with that, yeah.
Yep, that's all I'll say about that.
Not quite done with his floor yet. That's true. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, that Tim does get the vote for just banishing 2 giant enemies that we never saw do anything.
Yep, they didn't even get up from the sitting position. They were sitting down the entire time because they got hypnotic patterned while they were
Did the hypnotic pattern
waiting.
actually ever go off, or did Tim go before they went?
Tim went before they did.
Okay.
Actually, so yeah.
So technically, it didn't actually amount to anything because I don't think
right.
that changed their save.
Right. Which I don't know. Incapacity doesn't say anything about saves, so.
Really?
But I wonder if it's just charmed.
I looked up Charm. I didn't see anything.
Okay.
I looked up Charm. I didn't see anything.
Okay.
Interesting.
Incapacitated only mentions actions and reactions. So I don't think it's. I think it's like they're still kind of in their head. They just can't move. It's like they're just like staring at lights in front of their eyes, kind of thing.
And Tim spells as long as they can hear you.
Oh.
So
right.
There wasn't a reason not to hear.
I was confusing incapacitated with unconscious.
Oh yeah.
I forgot unconscious was its own separate thing.
Right. There's 3. There's 2.
Yeah, this is getting kind of
so similar.
There's a lot.
There's
I know restrained and grappled is always
paralyzed.
confusing. Yeah.
Paralyzed is not the same thing as we're just incapacitated.
Yeah. Well, it says a paralyzed creature is incapacitated and then has all these other conditions, so it's an escalating thing.
Yeah.
They're incapacitated, and then they also fail strength and dex saves, and then they have the attack.
But even that one,
advantage.
they could have still made the save on that.
You're right. Yeah, it doesn't actually affect their mental capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
Jason wants to see the character sheet for the fielder. Do you want to still hang on to that?
I'll hang on to that for now. In terms of if it was just the chat, I'd show you guys. But it's not too impressive. They're celestial lions.
Yeah,
they don't have any.
We did mention they're from Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica, though. So if you have access to that,
if you want to look it up, you can go look it up.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody did ask after hypnotic pattern if they were all immune to charm, and I did miss that Devas are in fact immune to charm. But that's fine. Actually, he made the save anyway.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
But the lions weren't?
Nope.
Okay, good. That'd be
lions
annoying to come back and see that. And be like, shit.
Yeah.
I've made a few big mistakes like that where I'm like, whoops, oh well.
Like, oh no, that shouldn't have worked.
Yeah. That's hard, too, when you keep track of all those things.
It is, especially because on the monster character sheets, damage resistances and condition immunities are a tiny little bit of it, and they're
Yeah.
kind of cramped with a bunch of other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like senses and skills and saving throws are all a big block of red text.
Yeah, I miss
So
that
it's-
shit all the time.
Yeah.
I don't think we got any crits. I think you got the only crit.
I think so. No ones either, I don't think. Well, one on a skill check, but
Yeah.
that's it. But yeah, you guys handled that fight pretty well.
I mean, yeah, Tim destroyed 2 of the 3
The minions.
monsters in that boss fight,
Yeah.
and it was just a Deva that we already fought for. You know, I've got the magic resistance from Styx, and I've got a counter spell, and none of your enemies have cast a single spell on us.
Nope, not yet.
So I'm just like, oh wow, I'm actually. So I just burned through my Hellish Rebukes at a 3rd level spell slot. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm not gonna. Because
Yep.
I'm not gonna need this.
Yeah. And that was kind of intentional. Like once again, I was aware that early on in the
Keep
game,
things pretty simple early.
Yeah. And plus, Devas and Horned Devils are just simple creatures. I mean,
Apparently, yeah.
They don't have a whole lot in their character sheets.
Yeah.
Horned Devils at least have a melee and a range option. They throw a flame and they have a fork and a tail. Devas don't even have a range option normally.
Just
Without a magic
pure-
axe in their hand anyway.
Everybody's just auto attacking basically this whole time.
Deva's whole thing is that they're just like peak human. They just got great stats across the board,
Yeah.
and they're immune to a lot of things. They're just kind of like just good,
Yeah.
but they don't have any neat abilities. They just hit things with their maces.
It was interesting that you took advantage of the flight, which is something I always didn't like doing with my creatures because of those attacks of opportunity. But I guess at this level, you can kind of just take that attack, but it's better to just
Yeah.
fly out of the range of the melee attacks of the players.
It's a calculation, and I was actually reading
Yeah.
a thing about like there's some website out there. If you just Google like the monsters know what they're doing. It's a whole website.
Yeah.
where it just sort of walks through like a monster's character sheet and says like, based on this, here's what I think that monster would do in combat. And a lot of them are like so unfun that like dragons. It's like, well, obviously a dragon would never land.
Oh,
It would
yeah.
just strafe,
Just straight
breathe
fly
fire.
around, breathe fire. Yeah.
and it would be 100 feet in the air when it's not strafing and breathing fire. But in play, that's fucking awful. That's not fun for anybody, right? Like,
I think it depends on the situation. Maybe you can make it work in certain contexts, or if you need to like move the dragon to somewhere else. But
sure. No, I mean like if the actual goal of the combat is to kill the dragon,
Yeah.
that's awful. Like
Yeah.
you did it to us once as almost a cutscene type situation.
that's true. Where you were like
Where
meant
he,
to
like,
fight
strafed
that
a boat.
fight. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was specifically because like we don't have a battle map for this. Like this is meant to just be a cutscene.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I went too far the other way when you guys actually fought the dragon. I was like, oh, I can't actually fly around or do anything. It's just gonna stand there and
Right.
get
It's gonna
stabbed.
stand there. Yeah.
So it went too far the other way. And it was just too easy.
But in this case, the calculation on the Devo was, is the person they're attacking with melee going to do more damage as a reaction or more damage on their turn when they lay into the Deva?
Yeah.
And if it's more damage on their turn, the Deva will back off and try to fly into the sky where they can't get melee.
Especially because what it looks like is 3 of the 5 characters don't really have good ranged options compared to their melee attacks.
No. In fact, I'm playing a little loose with Gillian's Trident, but I'm assuming she's picking up the Trident after.
I don't know how that works. Yeah, we've never really paid
It's-
much attention to like
Right.
how many javelins do you have or anything like that.
Yep. But I mean, and to her credit, she has actually said a couple times like that she needs to go pick up the Trident, throw it again.
Yeah.
So at least she's paying attention to it, but I'm not enforcing it heavily.
That's true.
I'm not being like, oh well, now you're trying, because I thought about this during this fight. Oh, now you're Trident stuck in the Deva, and you can't get it back.
yeah.
You know, like that would be kind of shitty. But
Yeah, I don't think we're that kind of DM.
right.
Like, oh, you don't have your trident anymore. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yep.
Will we have a chance to long rest anytime soon? I assume not till this dungeon is over, if that's how you're pacing it.
That's right, but
Hopefully
as
a
I
short
said,
rest
you guys
here.
you guys don't hear the sounds of combat anywhere anymore.
Mm.
That's all I'll say about that.
I've been pacing myself, but I mostly just attack,
Yeah.
so
Right.
I could short rest and feel great.
I thought, I mean, I hadn't been paying attention to the spell slots, but I thought with the way everybody was using spell slots earlier on, I thought they'd be like, you know, empty gas tank, and then fucking Tim busted
I
out
would
a
too,
spell
but
summon.
yeah, I don't know how many spell slots everybody has at this level, so they probably have a
Yep.
fucking shit ton. I still have a bunch. I mean, I burned through my 2 third-level spell slots in this fight, but if we short rest, I'll get them both back.
Right. But I would say with the way things sound and seem right now, you guys feel generally safe.
I imagine the party would want a long rest here because everybody's hurting pretty bad. Hell, we've gone, what is it, 5 sessions now?
Yes.
That's pretty long,
Yes, yeah.
actually, without a
Yeah.
rest.
Yeah.
It's a pretty long dungeon. Now, granted, these sessions
Yeah.
are a little bit shorter than what we've been doing, but
Yeah, but it's kind of like the idea is that you don't long rest in one dungeon. You have to do a dungeon in one long rest.
that's how it
Which
felt.
honestly, I think that it works better at higher levels because you have a lot more stuff to play with at higher levels.
Yes, you can actually pay. Yeah, you don't have to worry about, oh, do I use my 2 first-level spell slots?
Yes,
When do I use
right.
them? Whereas now it's like, all right, well, I've got 5 of these, 4 of these, 3 of these. I can do something fun every battle and still pace myself.
Yep. If you ask your players to go 5 sessions with level 5 characters and not have a long rest, then you're going 5 sessions and going like, okay, I've got 2 spells
Yeah,
for 5 sessions. Like I'm gonna just suck sometime.
yeah, that's true. It's paced completely differently. What else?
What else? I don't know.
Nothing
Boys,
else
I don't know what a chain of returning is.
Nothing else we can spoil on. We still just have this main quest. We're still just trying to escape the spire.
That's right. That's all you're trying to do right now.
We need more of an update on our quest. Our last update was
I
session
don't know.
2.
Did I even? I forgot I even gave you guys the quest.
Yeah,
I thought
we actually do
I
have a
forgot
quest.
I think I forgot to actually show it to the group.
I think
Quest,
you gave it to
yes.
us at some point because it says session
Okay.
2 updates. I think you updated it.
Yeah, I'll update that. There's not a lot. You guys don't know what's going on quite yet.
Nope.
You got.
We're
very
still in the
vague
cold
sense.
open here.
Yes.
I feel like when we exit this
Which-
dungeon, we'll get the title card.
Which I'll be honest with you, that is phenomenally piss poor job on my part of gauging how long things were going to go. My initial notes that I made back in
I thought this
April or
whole thing would be
whatever,
like 2 or 3 sessions.
yeah, like 2 sessions for the Verdant Spire was what
Wow.
I had written down. Like 2 sessions, and then they get through it, and it's been 5. It'll probably be 6.
Yeah.
It'll probably be 5.5 to be honest. I think
Yeah.
it'll probably be about 5. Yeah,
And we didn't know we would shorten the sessions like we have been.
that's true.
Although,
yeah.
granted, I think it's been working out better having no break and just doing straight up 2 hour, a little over 2 hours.
The sessions
But
feel
they are
more
shorter.
focused.
Yeah.
The sessions feel like they're about the one thing that happens in the session, and that's what it's about.
Yeah.
And,
But I think the quality has been really good. Like, I think it's worked
yeah.
out really well for our pacing and our energy level to just go for that long. And then I think you've done
Right.
I think you've done a really good job of wrapping it up at just the right time too. Like right when it's like, all right, now we're not gonna start anything new, and we finished the thing that we're
Right.
doing.
Yeah,
you've done
yeah,
your
exactly.
you've done your 2 things for this session.
yeah, right. Killed the dragon before he even got away. Yep.
Wow, killed it in Thunder Tree. Jeez.
That.
I think that'll do it for us then.
Think so.
Yeah. So
I'm excited for you guys to actually be not in the middle of a giant fight for once. Since we started this.
that's the only thing is I know you've been doing and you expected this to be shorter, but it has felt like okay, we're just going from the same kind of fights to the same kind of fights over and over again. So I'm excited to get to
and that's
a little
kind of
more
a
story.
victim of that pacing where like
Yeah.
I expected that to be 2 sessions worth of content, and it's been 5 now, which
Mm.
is fine because that's how we've been focusing it. But the consequence of that is that it has felt like you guys have been in a battle for 5 sessions.
Yeah. Off and on. Which I appreciate those little the sand puzzle and all that kind of stuff to at least break up that action. That was good.
Yeah.
All right, so reminder, no D&D next week. I think we're just going to be taking the week off because I was trying to plan on doing something, but I've got so much in my life that I think we're gonna just take the week off next week and
So many things.
yeah, and come back October 2nd, I believe, to continue our
Yep.
War for the Lost Plane. That will do it.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that'll do it for this week's Chat for the Lost Plane. Thank you to DM Chris, player Raymond. Thank you to all the fans for watching, and we'll see you not next week, but in 2 weeks to resume War for the Lost Plane.
Bye.